All right, we're back. Tomorrow we'll be on Good Morning Football at 8 o'clock. Stopping in to see those guys. And then be here at 1 o'clock tomorrow. And then Thursday we'll be at the Museum of TV and Radio, now the Paley Center. We will be there with our show from 1 until 6:30 with a lot of guests. And then Friday here from regular time. With no guests, just the callers. We'll get as many. I know some of you have said that you're worried about getting in that last day. We'll move along. We'll try to get in a lot of them. We're not having any guests that day. So we'll get a lot in. We'll do as many as we can possibly do until we say goodbye. So that's the idea. That's the plan on Friday. So we've got a lot going on the next couple of days. And then 3 days and counting. Mike in Bergen County. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Mike, how are you? First
Thank
of all,
you.
I just want to say thank you for everything you've done. You've been very soothing to everybody, and you got people through a lot of their days. I'm a retired police officer, and I used to listen to you all the time.
Well, thank you.
While I was working, it was great.
Thank you.
Had a chance to meet you, Super Bowl 22,
Okay.
out in San Diego.
Okay.
We were sitting in the lobby at a hotel. You had told me that dog went upstairs with his bottle and went to bed. It's a day like Darryl Stingley was in the hotel lobby that day. There was a whole bunch of it. I think that's when you first started Radio Row, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was 22. Right around there. Right, close. Maybe a couple more, but right around there. It was the first time you seeing the other stations really crop up. That I remember. First time I ever really noticed them was in L.A. for the Bills and the Cowboys. The first Bill-Cowboy game, the one it really just blew them out in. That was in L.A., if I remember right. I'm pretty sure that was in L.A. I remember doing the show in the lobby in L.A., right off the big arena, right off the big theater where the commissioner had his Friday press conference and everything else. We were right off that theater there, and first time I saw other stations starting to crop up. Because when we were in New Orleans for the Niners and the Broncos, there was only us. There was the New Orleans station was on like an hour a day. When we were in Tampa for the Giants and the Bills, there wasn't a lot. When we were in Minnesota for the Redskins and the Bills, there was a little more. And then after that, you had the back-to-back Bills and the Cowboys, where you had the blowout game, then you had the close game. And one game was in Atlanta, and the other game was in L.A. So the L.A. game is the one that I remember that the media started to really pick up, and the Radio Row really started to pick up, was really in New Orleans. Atlanta was the one where there was just no tickets for the Cowboys. That was the one where the guys who were in the business, that put a lot of people out of business that year. Coke took 1 million tickets. There was no tickets available. That was the game where you had guys who are ticket brokers, and the ones who've lasted in the business that long know that game well because they have the scars. There were guys knocking on your door, just, and you'd go to the door and they'd say, I'm working for this guy, anybody have any tickets, we're paying, 10 times face, we're paying this, because they just had to get tickets and they didn't have any. There were no tickets available. There was absolutely no tickets. There was guys running around. I happened to talk to a couple of the guys I'd see through the years who were in that business. I meet him in the lobby, see him somewhere at a restaurant, and we'd chat for a couple of minutes. Guys told me some of the staggering amount of money they lost on that Super Bowl. Because they, where they had the kind of clients where you have to get your clients tickets. If you don't, they're not your clients anymore. And they're your clients every week of the year. You're getting their company's tickets. You're getting their clients' tickets. You're getting their family. You're getting tickets all year. They don't care what they pay, but they expect the tickets. Then you get a game like that where they don't have the tickets. And they were paying outrageous sums of money for tickets. Crazy money. Danny in Staten Island. What's up, Danny?
Hey, Mike, 33 years old. Not many constants in my life, but you won't be on the radio in the car for me. It's always been there. It's going to be strange when it's not.
Thank you. Well, you know what? Before you know it, we'll be back doing something.
Quick question before I make a Mets comment. Will you ever be a guest on any of the shows on the Fan?
No.
Okay.
That I won't be. That I won't be.
Okay. Has there ever been a bigger disconnect? In my opinion, I don't think there has, between the general manager of a team, his comments the other night regarding Stanton, and the overall picture with the Mets free agency. There's such a disconnect, and you compare it to what's going on in the Bronx. And they didn't just say, we spiked the football, we got Stanton. They say we're going to do more, too. And tremendous contrast.
I think that I don't think Alderson's first of all, Alderson's a bright man. He's a former Marine. He's I think a quality guy. Don't think I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's a good man. I don't think he's a very bubbly, outgoing guy, but he's a good guy. But I think he really made a big mistake with that, and I think it came off like he was almost thumbing his nose at his own audience and his own fans. I just think that's just. I mean, I know a lot of fans have mentioned that comment to me. They were very upset by it. So it's almost like I think he meant it as a joke. I really did. But they weren't in the mood for a joke when the Yankees are getting Stanton and talking about getting more, just getting started. And they're talking about, well, we have Nimmo. I mean, come on, send that message to your fan base. I mean, man, what do you? It's almost like you're pouring salt in the wound.
He made comments like that a couple years back. Same thing. And I tell you what, ticket sales were decent the past couple of years because the Mets were good. But ticket sales, I know I'm not renewing my tickets. I know friends of mine.
This year they're dead. This year they're dead. And I tell you, there is a middle ground, and that can go either way. And in the last couple of years, it had a chance to go to the Mets. It really did. The Mets were fun. They were light. They were playing well. The Yankees were kind of dreary. The Yankees were still getting out from under those contracts. The stadium was dreary. There was no experience there. The Yankees were for the first time in a long time, a non-hit. And now the Yankees have completely revitalized themselves. And here's the thing about Stanton. You can question, you can debate, you can have a realistic baseball argument about some of the things that could be impacted negatively with Stanton. And there's a couple. As far as a business decision, it is an absolute grand slam home run. It is going to be great for their business. Big home runs, sizzle, star power, you name it, Yankees have it. And that sells. The Yankees never sold more tickets than when A-Rod came to the team, ever. Stars sell, stars fill the building. The Yankees are about to fill the building like the old days. Randy in South Brunswick. What's up, Randy?
Hey, Mike. I really glad I got through. I want to say thanks for everything. And the funny thing is that you always said, I remember you saying this, is, Randy, if we agree on everything, then how am I going to have a show? So we rarely agreed on things, but
I can't.
I always
listen,
but I like that.
Absolutely.
I loved it. And
absolutely. I can't expect you guys to actually call and be right. I mean, come on now. I mean, that's it's too much to expect. That's my job. Just kidding. Steven Secaucus, what's up, Steve?
Hey, Mike, thanks for taking the call.
Yeah.
I'd like to discuss with you who I think are NFL coaches that are on the hot seat. And the first one that comes into mind is Chuck Pagano. And
no, he's not on the hot seat. His seat is past hot. He's gone.
He's gone, okay. How about Marvin Lewis and then John Fox?
Marvin Lewis is gone. John Fox is gone. I mean, those guys are gone.
In Tampa Bay. I mean, they're better than a 2 or 3 win team.
Dirk Cutter, I don't know how they feel about that. I would think, knowing that franchise, I think he's in big trouble. He's not supposed to be in trouble this year. I think, listen, the Bengals are the cheapest organization in the world. Marvin Lewis has got a very, very good reputation in the league. He's a good man. He's well thought of. He's been there a long time. He's the second longest tenured coach in the league. The problem is it's time for a change there. And the Bengals, when they blew that lead to the Steelers the other night, you saw what the reaction was. They didn't play at all last week against the Bears. They did not even show up. And they're much better than that. They didn't show up at all. I think it's time for Marvin Lewis. It would take a miracle for Fox to be back. And I don't see any way Pagano's back. I think the general manager there, the new general manager, knew that when he sat Luck for the season, it would allow him to clean house with the coaching staff. I think that's what he wants to do. I think he will do it. Another guy who's a good guy. And I'll tell you something. Chuck Pagano did not do a bad job with that team this year. He fought in every game. They were in every game. They tried, but I blame that on, more than the coach, I blame that on the general manager, because I think the configuration of that team got away from them. They made some horrific deals. They made some terrible decisions, and they thought no matter what we do, we have a quarterback who's going to bail us out. And you know what? You can't just rely on him to do that. You can't. And then you got him beat up, which is the worst thing that could have happened. Rob in New Rochelle, what's up, Rob?
Hey, Mike, how are you? Listen, there was a Mount Rushmore of radio personalities, brother. Your head's definitely up on there.
Well, thank you.
Listen, thank you for 27 years of Packer and Red Sox calls. I'm sure we'll continue this next spring. And concerning those two teams, Mike, the Packers, they could run the table. They could they have to get Carolina and Seattle to 6. They can get Carolina to 5 and hope Seattle loses the game. They got the tiebreakers on those teams because they will beat them. It's a tough order. Rodgers is probably coming back, but it's a shot.
Rodgers is coming back. Take it to the bank. He's coming back.
The line reflects what the line in the game is. He's playing. Anyway, if the Red Sox
He is playing. Not only that, he will come back, and he will play right out of the box. He will play great.
And he wants the Vikings next week too, Mike, for that injury. It would be interesting, Mike, if the Packers do get a 16 and the first round they wind up in Minnesota where he got injured. I'm sure that's going to be an interesting situation if it comes up. With the Red Sox, Mike, I'm looking for a way where they could get this right-handed power hitter. Would you trade Bradley for McCutcheon? There's really not that much out there, Mike.
Miguel Cabrera.
Is he healthy?
You
is he
can
available?
get him. You got to go do your due diligence. Find out if he wants to play. If I were the Red Sox, I'd be asking the Tigers who want to trade their players, can I make a trip to meet with Miguel Cabrera? I'd go see him and say, listen, I want to re-energize your career. I want to bring you here and turn you in to the big player you used to be. You can have a great couple of years with us. Just tell me you really want to play. Tell me you really can get in shape and you really want to play. If he gives you the right answers, go get him. That's the guy. He's perfect for the Red Sox. He can revitalize his career. He's not done. He didn't care last year. The Tigers just had the year where they just didn't care anymore. And agreed, they have older players. It didn't happen. Hey, Verlander revitalized his career. I think absolutely. What is Miguel? Is he 33 or 34? He can't be more than 34, right? 33, 34, one or the other, right? Can't. Oh, okay. So he'll be 35 April 18th. I want 3 years counting this year. 35, 36, 37. What's he making this year? 30 million or more? $30 million. How many years has he got money coming? 2, 3? What's he got left? I don't know what's on. So he's got 6 years of money yet. So that means they'll let you have him to get him off the roster. They'll let you have him now because they want to get out from under that contract. And I think you can get 3 great years out of him. I think he can become back to being a big, big star. Last year, he wasn't even, giving you an effort. For the first time ever, he wasn't giving you an effort. I think he's got years left. Unless somebody tells me he's done, or he tells me from his own lips he's done, that's the guy I would want if I'm the Red Sox. I think I can get him back to being him, and he's as good as there is when he's on his game. And I think you can get him for nothing. You just got to pay him. And he fits there. He'd have life. He'd have people around him. He'd be able to drive in a ton of runs. He'd have that stadium to hit in, and the fans would love him. Here's the make man.